Hi, Calvin Marietta family. This is Andrew Paulsen, and I wanted to share today on how to model and teach empathy. In the last video I did with my wife, Charlotte, we talked about how to help kids with their anxiety. And one of the big things a lot of research shows is showing and teaching empathy. A lot of counselors will tell you a good sign that someone is working through their depression or their anxiety or their deep-seated grief is that they are able to see the needs of others, that they're able to put themselves in other people's shoes and show that they understand and they care. That's what we call empathy. And that's something we want to teach and model for our kids. Not only does it help with anxiety during a tough time like this, but it also is crucial for healthy relationships. So many schools and other organizations have programs where they teach kids and adults empathy, showing them different ways that they can put themselves in people's shoes, because it's so good for when kids are struggling on the playground, when they're having issues with their teachers, when they're having some drama with their friends. And so this is a lifelong skill and practice that we want to help our kids acquire. This is going to take some work because empathy is not something we naturally have a lot of the time. Our sin nature makes us very self-focused, very self-centered. And so being empathetic is something we have to work out, something we have to be intentional with. And so my family, we did an activity, and these are some pictures of my boys as we worked through this activity on ways we can think of others and things we can do for others. And so we created 3 circles. We created an inner circle of family, and then another circle of community, and another circle of our world. And then we came up with some ideas of ways that we can help them, bless them, encourage them. Being creative during a time like this is really important because there are normal ways of showing we care, our normal ways of encouraging someone, like giving a hug or going by a visit, we can't do necessarily. And so being creative and thinking outside the box is really key in doing this. So maybe sending cards that we don't normally write cards, or maybe mowing the lawn for someone we don't normally mow the lawn for, and maybe it's doing a Zoom dinner with your grandma or grandpa. And of course, we want to pray for all these people. But you want to be creative in the list of ways that you can show you care for someone and help your kids be a part of that process. Let them share ideas and go for those. Try and say yes to even the silly ones. So we had our family circle we want to be intentional with. Different aunts and uncles and cousins, and you can put friends in this circle, but ways that you can show them, you might want to talk to them first, see what they're comfortable with, but think of ways that you can help these people in your life. And on a side note, if you're a leader of a small group, if you have a group of coworkers or colleagues, this is good stuff too. Think of ways that you can be intentional about blessing those people around you, especially people who are struggling with finances or really feeling isolated. Think of those people that God has placed in your life that you would be naturally easy to reach out to. And then we want to extend that, to our community. Not just think about the people closest to us, but also think about maybe those healthcare workers and doctors are doing so much for us right now, or our neighbors that we don't normally talk to, but we can do something for, like bring in the trash cans. There are things we can do to spread love to others and show that we have a voice, that we have some power, even in the midst of this crisis. And that's something our kids will remember and empower them to do good for others. And then, of course, our world. Maybe there's some missionaries that you can bless, missionaries from our church that you know of, that you can write a card to, maybe give an extra monetary gift. Maybe there's some world leaders you'd like to write a card to, or maybe just send something through social media saying we're hoping and praying for wisdom for you. Or maybe there's a way you can help some organization that does work for the poor, or for some other health stuff going on in like Africa. There's a lot of different ways that we can bless others around us. The verse I'd like to share that goes with this thought today is Galatians 6:2. It says, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. I don't know if you're like me, but when I bear somebody else's burden, I realize that my own burden's not that heavy, that it's not that hard. And that's what's great about teaching and showing kids empathy, is that they get to see beyond themselves and see that, wow, I have things I can be thankful for. Wow, there are other people in this world who need help too, and I'm not so bad off. And that's what's so powerful about teaching and showing empathy. It helps our kids realize that they have a lot to be thankful for, which also helps their anxiety. And so as I close, I just encourage you guys to be creative, We have a lot on our chart now to work through. We'll probably add some more, and maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't, but at least we're trying. I would encourage you to message us with your empathy picks, share what you and your family end up doing, but take this time to really teach some important life lessons that will bless your kids for the rest of their lives. Thanks, and God bless.